Good evening and welcome to Health and Wellness Show. Today we're speaking with Timi Ellinas, founder and CEO of Helene Therapeutics. Good evening, Helena. Thank you so much for Timi. I'm so sorry. You see, we are already learning the name of your brand. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I would like to begin with your personal journey. What inspired you to find Helene Therapeutics, and what gap did you see in the regenerative medicine landscape that you felt needed to be addressed?
Oh, that's a very, actually, very personal journey. By the way, good evening to yourself as well. Thank you very much for having me on your show. Very personal journey where this all began. Well, I guess it started, first of all, from when I was a little girl and kind of being in the scientific space, in the science-driven industry, but also in the finance space. I found that there was, a big gap, and also a gap covering the whole journey of a drug. So kind of taking things from bench to bedside, marketing a drug and getting it out to people. But also kind of the funding that is required. There's a steep gap in between these processes. And I did feel that it's really important kind of, pushing the evolution of humanity forward. That's our job as scientists, right? I mean, I know there's a question of, okay, what does that mean? But it's really so simple. I know it sounds romantic, but it's really the truth. Farmers are very important because they produce the food that we eat to sustain ourselves, to live, and so on and so forth. Everyone has a job, and our job as scientists is really to understand what these mechanisms in our body or in our space is, so that we can develop technologies or develop better ways for our species to survive. And I take that very seriously, as do my colleagues. So that is intrinsic, and that was kind of the beginning of my journey. Specifically in this space, it started about 5 years ago. I would say 5 to 4 years ago. I'm completely time blind now from this whole project, this whole endeavor that we've delved into. But my interest really crystallized when my mother became sick with ALS, or as they say in the UK, MND. So she was diagnosed with ALS, and one of the more promising treatments is stem cell therapy. So it was really a race for time to build a facility like this in Europe where I would be able to treat her. Unfortunately, she didn't make it.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But, I'll be able to at least treat other people with such diseases and other neurodegenerative diseases, and, just kind of pushing the frontier forward. And it's very much needed. It's very much needed. Unfortunately, we weren't able to send her to Japan for logistic reasons. It's a process. You're producing a drug. It takes about a month to a month and a half. So getting a patient to fly all the way across the world is just not viable. It's not feasible. So it's really sad that, here in Europe or in the Western world, although we have such incredible advancements, that we're not able to deliver such a safe treatment to us here in the West. So that's really what crystallized my journey, and that's where we are now.
Excellent. Well done. Now, I like the name, Helena. It is
Helene Therapeutics,
from
yes.
Greek and associated with yes, beauty and grace. I mean, is it that's why you chose it, or is it the Helena of Troy? Or
it is the Helena of Troy. You see, beauty is found sometimes in the simplicity of things, and we find that very much so to be true in science and the mechanisms. I mean, many pathways are complicated, but many are just very simple. And ours is a simple process. It's not too complicated. We don't want complicated things, because if you have complicated things, then it's difficult to find the truth in a complex system as our body. We have a straightforward process. We keep things very streamlined, and I like to say organic, although that might not be exactly the right descriptive word. But we choose to use less, let's say, ingredients in our process. We don't use chemicals per se, but in our space, the term chemical varies from the lay expression. But we want to keep things clean. And so our process takes a little bit longer. So it's also kind of about where science and medicine have come today. You know, things were a little more gruesome, let's say, even 50 years ago. Right now, medicine and science, well, rather, science has helped medicine become more finessed. So where you would have needed surgery, with this therapy, you will maybe not need surgery, or you could definitely postpone it for years to come with just an injection of your own cells. So beauty is in the simplicity of things, beauty and grace.
Excellent. Now, when you say Hellenic is to serve evolution, what does that mean in practical terms for patients walking through your clinic, Timi?
So a patient that comes to us, first of all, this would be under the supervision of their physician. The physician will triage the patient and ensure this is the right therapy for them. So we have under our whole facility, everything is under one roof. So from beginning to end, as you can see behind me, this is our manufacturing clean room. This is grade B clean room. So it's a very, very special space. I have a viewing panel so I can keep an eye. Of course, you can imagine that our manufacturing scientists are working under very difficult conditions. So we have to ensure that everybody is safe. But behind these walls, we have an operating theater. So the patient comes in, has a small punch biopsy, removed a little sample of their adipose tissue, which is just the fat tissue below their dermis, below their skin. And then we take that straight into the manufacturing lab, where we take about, as I said before, a month to a month and a half to do our magic. And then the patient can go away. So it's a process for them initially of 5 to 10 minutes. And then they come back a month to a month later, and we reimplant them with a simple injection, either local or intravenous, over 20 minutes, depending, but let's say 20 to 30 minutes. So it's a very easy process for the patient. We have already treated 16,000 patients in Japan. So we have incredible safety profile, and we have evidence to back that up. And well, that's really the journey of the patient. And then you just let those cells do what they need to do. So we're working with your body.
So who can have this treatment? Is it for any ages, or is it someone with some specific illnesses that, you know, they shouldn't do it?
I don't think there's any illness that really shouldn't do it, unless it's a genetic mutation that you have, that you wouldn't benefit from your own cells being reimplanted, being put back into your body. It would really help any indication. A disease type is considered indication. It depends, again, on whether your physician, your specialist, if it's an endocrinologist, if it's an orthopedic surgeon, because this can help with various diseases, depending on what you're looking for. We use autologous adipose-derived mesenchymal stem cells. These specific cells turn into different cell types. So it's especially helpful for things like knee osteoarthritis, any osteoarthritis really, because these cells turn into cartilage cells, chondrocytes, They turn into adipocytes, so fat cells, and they can turn into osteoblasts, so also bone cells. They also have this magnificent property where they modulate the immune system. So anything anti-inflammatory as well. They are considered the firefighters of your body. And they do this process called homing. So if you reimplant them, let's say intravenously, if you put the cells back in, just like you would with an IV, through your veins, they would pick up the signals because they're your cells and they speak your language. So they would pick up the signals of other cells that would say, help, help, we need help. There's fire here. They would immediately migrate to the place where there's inflammation because the cells talk to each other. All of our cells talk to each other. And they would go to that location and do what they need to do. So it's really in the hands of your body. We just magnify this process.
Well, it sounds too scientific to me. For you, it sounds, I'm sure, like straightforward for someone who is not in the medicine sector, but it sounds very interesting. Now, for our viewers who might be new to regenerative medicine, can you explain, or maybe it's what you just explained, I'm not quite sure, this autologous mesenchymal stem cell therapies?
Yes, so autologous autóloga, from the Greek word autóloga, it means your own cells. Allogenic, allogonica, it means somebody else's cells. So there are therapies out there that are allogeneic, which are somebody else's cells. So they take cells from several donors, usually 10 to 20 donors, and they put them all together into a bioreactor, and they produce a therapy or a batch for many, many patients. But these are not your cells. And if you recall, when you have a organ transplant, you can have rejection of that organ, and you have to take immunosuppressants so that you don't reject that organ. That's because the cells in your body have tags that say that they belong to you, so that your body doesn't reject them, attack them, right? Well, it's for the same reason that allogeneic, so somebody else's cells, stem cell therapy, is rejected from your body 48 to 72 hours later. So this therapy has been shown to have an effect called hit and run, but it's not well understood. So you don't necessarily get the regenerative aspect of this therapy because you eliminate it from your body. But when it's your own cells, you can actually take advantage of several amazing properties of having a stem cell therapy, because your body doesn't kill off these cells because they're your cells. They have these markers, these tags that say, hi, I'm you. So your body, your immune system doesn't attack them.
Fantastic.
So it's really that simple.
How do you determine when it's appropriate to consider broader regenerative applications?
Well, that's something that the physician should do. So the triage starts from there. But from our data, from our Japanese clinic, it really helps with a variety of conditions. In Japan, I can talk about Japan, we treat many conditions. Parkinson's, PSP, which is a more aggressive type of Parkinson's, neurodegenerative diseases, generally like multiple sclerosis, from diabetes, osteoarthritis, as we discussed, to even an alternative to IVF. We've had several successful births doing this therapy because, again, it reduces inflammation, and it's also preventative. Although here we only treat on disease type. In the UK, and in Europe, the regulatory framework is very strict. and we abide and try to go above and beyond what is
Yes.
expected from us.
Yes. And also, I mean, perhaps we should say you might be able to treat, to, heal whatever is a problem, because
Treat, you can say, you can't say cure.
Cure, yeah, okay, yes, because
And we're
you can
scientists.
cure, yes, you're right. You can't say the cure because, I
Yes.
mean, nothing is for sure, in
Nothing is for
any
sure.
medicine, really, any operation or any
Correct.
medication, because everyone is different,
Absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely. And these are your cells, so it also really depends
absolutely.
on you. But my
Yes.
father, we checked my father's stem cells, who's 70 years old, and he had the best stem cells out of all of us.
Yeah, fantastic. Yes, I mean,
So
I might have a headache and I might take the aspirin, let's say, or a painkiller, yes, and it might work. Someone else might have a headache, might take again the same exactly medication, but it might not work for them,
absolutely.
which is
Absolutely.
fine.
Understand.
Now, Helena's scientific direction is guided by Professor Fiona Watt, one of the pioneers of stem cell biology. How important is academic collaboration with institutions like King's College, London, UCL, and Cambridge in bridging research and clinical application?
Oh, it's absolutely vital. Absolutely vital. Our chief scientific officer, Dr. Christina Philippeos, another fellow Greek, was the right hand of Professor Fiona Watt at King's. Together, they hold several patents. To be guided by the fundamental work done in an academic environment is everything. It really is. I cannot stress how important it is. First of all, these are the institutions that have taught us how to be in this space. Again, as you rightly said just before, it's important to be conservative. We learn our scientific method in these incredible institutions, and kind of carrying that flag forward and being able to put what we do in on the bench and then directly to the patient bedside, bench to bedside. It's like saying farm to table, is, I think, just absolutely incredible. And that for the first time, we can achieve that with the education of what we do in the academic space to actually fulfilling this with a patient.
Fantastic. Thank you, Timi. Now, we're running out of time, so I will give you the opportunity to say something that perhaps we haven't mentioned.
Ooh, what could that be?
Lots. I know. We need
There's so much
another
to
episode,
say.
yes? Another show.
Yes, exactly. There's so much to say. I mean, except for that, we're so grateful to be in this position and having this opportunity to be able to bring this to the Western world. And, currently we're not actually practicing. We're in the midst of our approval process, and we've been working with the regulators. They have been absolutely amazing. So I think we're not too far away. But it's really taken an incredible team of women, many Greek women, by the way, many Greek women,
many Greek
many Greek
goddesses.
scientists. Yes, exactly, absolutely, to bring this to life. And scientists, women together, or women together, can really, I mean, this experience has been just phenomenal, can bring wonders to the world.
Yes.
When we work together.
Yes.
I mean, it's been a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of bloodshed, shedding blood, sweat, and tears. But this experience has just been like no other, of course. And we hope that we can bring this rigorous scientific background that we have to the forefront and allow for the evolution of our science to push us forward. And it's very important.
Fantastic.
We need innovation.
So at the moment, you don't have a website where people can find further information, but hopefully you will have it soon, yes?
Well, we have it, but
You
we
have
can't
it.
release it yet.
Ah.
There's a lot of regulation around the things that we do, and we
Yes.
like to be
Okay.
stiflers for
No,
what we
it's
do.
important to follow these regulations, and well done, because we all have to follow the regulations
Well,
in our
we
sector.
we feel very safe when we speak to the regulators, and we see that they're very on point, and they're very kind actually as well. Every
Yes.
time we speak to them, we look at each other and we say, that makes me feel safer. Because there are a lot of cowboys out there, I can tell you that.
Yes, absolutely. You're
Yeah.
so
And
right.
we're the first ones to do this. I mean, I can't tell you how many places say that they do stem cell therapy and they don't actually. They really don't. Every time they're like, "Oh, there's a new stem cell," and we look at it, and we're like, "No, it's impossible." No, no, no. This is a stem cell clinic, and we're like, "But it's impossible." And we look at it, and it really isn't. There's, that was a good point to say to describe what actually constitutes a stem cell therapy. But it's very black and white. There are guidelines of what you can call a stem cell therapy, and we satisfy all of that, so we can say that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Timi. It was a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you for sharing,
Thank you as well.
This amazing news, and wishing you all the best. And please do keep us posted about.
We will. Hopefully, you'll be able to come and visit our site in person.
Oh, that would be great.
Θα χαρούμε να σε δούμε.
Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Θα είναι μεγάλη μου χαρά. Καλή συνέχεια. Καλή
Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
επιτυχία.
Να είστε καλά. Να είστε καλά. Ευχαριστούμε. Γεια σας. Γεια σας.
Αγαπητοί φίλοι και φίλες, εμείς θα τα πούμε και πάλι πολύ σύντομα με ένα καινούριο θέμα και ένα καινούριο φιλοξενούμενο. Καλό σας βράδυ.